Today we're digging into the story of a microscopic stowaway, a tiny organism that can baffle doctors, cross entire continents, and even force scientists to rewrite biology textbooks. Its name is Vittaforma corneae.
So let's jump right in, because this whole story starts with something you've probably heard of, or even had, a simple red eye. But this is no ordinary infection. This is a medical mystery where the culprit is so rare it's almost invisible.
All right, picture this. Someone, maybe a tourist, gets back from an amazing vacation. A little while later, they notice their eye is red and sore. Looks like a standard case of pink eye. Seems simple enough, right? Well, this is just the beginning of what turns into a serious clinical battle.
So you've got all the classic signs. A really painful red eye, it's super sensitive to light, your vision's getting blurry. But here's the kicker. The doctors try all the usual stuff, antibiotic drops, antiviral medications, and absolutely nothing works. Days turn into weeks, and it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse.
Okay, so with all the common causes crossed off the list, the medical team has to put on their detective hats. They have to start thinking way outside the box. And the list of suspects starts to get, well, pretty strange.
Here's where it gets really tricky. This infection is a master of disguise. It can look just like a bunch of other serious problems, like a herpes infection or another kind of fungal keratitis. But the real challenge? Telling it apart from acanthamoeba, which is another nasty little parasite you can get from contaminated water. They look so similar that just looking at the eye isn't enough to tell what's going on.
So how in the world do they find this thing? Well, if you look here, you can see the diagnostic toolkit, and it tells a pretty clear story. Your standard lab stains, like a gram stain, totally useless. It just won't show up. Even some of the more powerful stains can get it confused with other things. This is the point where doctors have to bring in the big guns.
And the bottom line is this. The only way to be 100% sure you've found Vittaforma corneae is to look for its DNA. A PCR test, which you've probably heard of, basically acts like a genetic photocopier. It finds a tiny snippet of the parasite's DNA and makes millions of copies until it's impossible to miss. It really is the gold standard for nailing this diagnosis.
And this is where the story takes a really wild turn. Because once they identify this thing, its true identity is a massive biological surprise. One that literally flipped decades of scientific classification on its head.
You see, for years and years, everyone in the science world thought this was a protozoan, a simple single-celled organism. But that DNA evidence we just talked about, it revealed the truth. Vittaforma corneae is not a protozoan at all. It's a fungus, a very specialized, very parasitic fungus.
And its name is actually perfect once you know what it is. If you break it down, Vittaforma is Latin for ribbon-shaped. That describes this cool band-like structure it makes when it's growing inside our cells. And cornea, well, that refers to the cornea of the eye. So its name literally means the ribbon-shaped parasite of the cornea. How cool is that?
Now, this little fungus has a very particular way of life. Scientists have a fancy term for it, an obligate intracellular endoparasite. That's a mouthful, I know. But all it means is this thing cannot survive on its own. It absolutely has to live inside a host cell, our cells, to replicate. It gets in, hijacks the cell's machinery, and makes more of itself. It's the ultimate cellular freeloader.
Okay, so if it needs our cells to live, where does it actually come from?
And this is where the story expands from a weird biological case study to a genuine issue of global travel and public health.
While you'd be incredibly unlikely to run into Vittaforma corneae in North America or most of Europe, it's a known problem in other parts of the world. It's pretty common in places like India and Southeast Asia, and there was even a big outbreak in Taiwan that was traced back to contaminated water in swimming pools and hot tubs.
And that brings us to how it shows up in Western countries. In a place like the Netherlands, for example, the typical patient isn't someone who got infected locally. Nope, almost every single time it's a traveler who's just come back from one of those hotspots.
So think about it. The Netherlands has tons of tourists heading to places like Thailand and Indonesia. A traveler gets exposed to the fungus, maybe from contaminated water, but they feel totally fine. They fly home, and it's not until weeks later that the red eye starts. And now they're sitting in a local doctor's office presenting a huge puzzle for a physician who's probably never even heard of this thing.
All right, so let's say our medical detectives have cracked the case. They've done the PCR test and they have a diagnosis. You'd think that's the hard part, but now they face an even bigger problem. How do you actually treat this thing?
In the Netherlands, it involves a ton of red tape. See, the best drug for this, called fumagillin, isn't even registered for use there. So for a doctor to get it for their patient, they have to go through a whole compassionate use program. They have to prove that nothing else works, then file special paperwork just to import the drug for that one person. It's a huge ordeal.
So with all the challenges in diagnosis and treatment, you can see why prevention is just so incredibly important. And really, it comes down to some pretty simple advice, especially for travelers who wear contact lenses. Things like not swimming or showering with your contacts in, and just being extra cautious around pools or lakes in those endemic areas. It can make all the difference.
When you step back and look at it, Vittaforma corneae is just full of paradoxes. It's a fungus that acts like a protozoan. We think of it as this exotic, tropical disease, but versions of it have been found in all sorts of unexpected places. It's a truly tiny organism that creates this massive challenge for patients and doctors around the world.
We put this entire explainer together by digging through dozens of scientific articles and clinical reports, using the advanced research capabilities of Gemini to synthesize all that data.
And hey, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty yourself, we've compiled all of our sources for you. You can check them out in the linked Notebook LM document.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Our world is more connected than it's ever been, and that means the line between a local problem and a global one is getting fuzzier all the time. It makes you wonder, what other microscopic stowaways are out there just waiting for a ride?
Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into this fascinating little fungus, we'd appreciate it if you let us know.
Make sure you subscribe for more explainers like this one. And please, leave your thoughts and any questions you have for us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.